I have made a prior Jaguar video about this car, and it seemed to have gotten a lot of people who love the car and asked me to make another video, so I have. But I didn't just come to anywhere to make this video. I brought what I believe to be is the most luxurious car of its era, this marvelous Jaguar, to the least luxurious space in all of New York. Willets Point, Iron Triangle, in Corona, Queens. Bet you never saw something like that before. Looks like this guy went through the windshield. So a lot of people asked me to make another follow-up with this Jaguar. I love this car, by the way, so I'm perfectly happy to do it. Now, I am right now in the most scenic part of Queens. I say that with absolute, total, and utter sarcasm. This is Corona, Queens. Right, I'm trying to drive while I do this. Right under the railroad on Roosevelt Avenue. This is not exactly the prettiest part of New York City, but it is visually interesting, so that's why I'm shooting here. There's a subway over my head right now, which you can see up there. So it's gonna get a little bit noisy, but I'll try to give this luxury car review in pretty much one of the least attractive parts of New York City. So we have here an amazing Jaguar. Wow, they're just crossing in the street like as if the light's not green. All right, it's getting trickier by the moment. So I got here this amazing Jaguar. It's a high mileage, older vehicle, classic, the last of the beautiful British Jaguars that were made of steel bodies. 2 years after this car was made, holy smoke, there's another subway going up there. I'm trying here. Give me credit for trying. Thumbs up if you like this video. Give me credit, man. Work with me. Holy cow, that is loud. Wow, that is really loud. The subway's literally straight up there. All right. So this Jaguar was the last of the British Jaguars. Ford had already taken over the company, but they had not yet messed with the XJ line, which is where this car comes in. So this is the absolute British design. There's a few Ford elements that they added, like the keychain over here is identical to a Ford model keychain for the remote key fob. But basically the car was British design, and that's the key. Because in 2004, they completely redesigned this car in a Ford, and they basically took that Lincoln Town car right over there and put a Jaguar body over it. And it's a totally different experience in those cars. Now, this one here is total authentic British proper luxury sedan, including all the old-fashioned, old-school geometry that was literally taken from cars back in the 1960s, from the XJs back in the 60s. It's still, some of the suspension components and other parts have actually trickled down to this current car, which is already a 2002 model. So it's a pretty cool car. It's unique. It does things that no other car does, like 2 tons, 17 feet long, but yet narrow, like a small car. It's low, like a Porsche from that Porsche from that era. It's just a really unique thing. Anyway, I'm heading right now into the Iron Triangle here. The most common question I get with this big old Jaguar is it fast compared to modern cars? Well, yes, it definitely is. Check this out. Watch this, watch this. We are on a closed area. This is a private drive area of someone in the Iron Triangle here. And check this out. Come on, how many 2-ton, 17-foot long cars made almost 20 years ago can do that? That's pretty cool. Donuts, Poppy, donuts. Making a U-turn in this 17-foot long car is no easy task. Oh, wow, that's pretty close. Look at that. So one of the things that makes this old Jaguar unique is the way the hood opens. Check this out. Pop the hood a little bit. First of all, there's no double lock like normal cars because it goes the other way and it's unnecessary. As you see, the hood opens forward. This is the beautiful engine. That right there is a 4-liter V8, somewhere around 300 horsepower. This thing's off the hook. And yes, I'm in the scenic iron triangle. That's the beauty behind me. And I got spectators apparently. Hola. But this is what the beautiful Jaguar engine looks like. Note that the hood ornament basically kisses the other Jaguar when you open it. I find that very entertaining. Under here is a toolbox, although I seem to have gotten rid of the toolbox and just left a couple old junk under there, but that is where a toolbox used to be. I don't know what happened to the toolbox. I think it used to be there. Maybe a mechanic once took it out of there. I haven't opened that container and compartment in years. One of the other unique quirks of this car is that it has only one windshield wiper. That's it, just this one. It covers the whole window, and it even has the sprayer nozzle right on the windshield wiper blade. Now, mind you, this is an X308, which means it's the latest model of British Jaguar before they discontinued the British Jaguars. The model before that, the X300, had more traditional sprayers that came out of these holes right here and that one on there. Now, the reason the holes are still there is because this facade, plastic facade thing here is an original part from the X300, which means they molded this back in like 1990 or something like that, and it's still on this car. It looks like we're going to be doing a little mud bogging in a Jaguar right about now. So that puddle is a little too big for me to get through this Jaguar, so I'm gonna get out of the car, take a break, and just show you another cool quirk of this Jaguar. A lot of people love this way the fuel filler is on the back trunk. It's actually like vertical as opposed to horizontal on the side like most cars. The way you simply fill it up is kind of obvious. You lift it up and you fill straight down. Now the thing is, the actual handle rests over here. The part of the pump that normally hangs actually rests physically on the trunk. I've always been concerned that that would mess up the paint over time, but it actually hasn't. I don't know why it hasn't, but the fact that the pump sits flush onto the painted surface doesn't seem to matter. But it's pretty neat. Everyone at the gas station seems to do a double take when they have to do this. One of the things that makes this Jaguar unique is its shape. It's 17 feet long, quite narrow, almost like a subcompact car, and yet it's low to the ground like a Porsche of its era. Now, what all that does, though, is it ends up with a body shape that has a very long hood that outstretches several feet in front of you, and you can see it as you drive, and a trunk that's almost the same length, and front windshield and rear window that's almost vertical. What all that translates into is incredible visibility 360 degrees around the car. You can see everything around you perfectly. There's no glare from oncoming cars because of the near vertical windshield. When you have very sloped windshields, you get all this glare. This car has old school, almost vertical front windshield. And the mirrors are wide and big, and you can just see everything. And I don't really know why they make small mirrors on cars. A lot of cars have that. This one doesn't. And honestly, you see everything. Even out that rear quarter window, you can see there's the columns in between the pillars. I mean, they're not even thick. I mean, they're tiny. You literally can see everything on the road in this car. And new cars, they're not like that. So that's something you can't get on modern cars. The body shape of this Jaguar makes one other thing unique. When you make turns, it doesn't sort of naturally move like a regular car. It sort of follows you, like as if you're turning it from the back seat. The front sort of follows after you. It's a really odd sensation. It's neat. I love it. It makes you feel like you're driving something really a lot bigger than it is, which I like. But it definitely took some getting used to when I first got the car. You have this really long hood that just sort of wafts with you around the turns. It's fascinating. Watch this again. Here. It's super neat. It feels like you're literally driving the car while you're sitting in the back seat of the car. And it has to do with the fact that the front wheels are so far forward of your sitting position, much more than most cars. Although I have to say I have driven a few cars that do that. The full-size Range Rover also has that sensation, although a little bit less than this one. But it's a cool it's a cool thing. It's like you're in this long super sedan and you're commanding it, and it's just sort of listening to you. Trying to explain the quality of a car's ride is very difficult. There's no mathematical way to express it, like 0 to 60 in how many seconds or how much horsepower. The best way to describe it is just, it feels amazing. When you drive this Jaguar, it's incredible. Now, it's not like modern cars. We have magnetic ride control and dampening and all that. You do have body lean and things that older cars do exhibit, but the ride is so luxurious, it wafts like a proper British luxury sedan. And to show you exactly how this does this, I am going to drive down this newly graded road right here. And newly graded meaning that it's ready to be repaved and there's no real pavement on the top layer anymore. And I'm going to leave this Poland Spring bottle right over here, and you're going to see exactly how bumpy it really gets. Because if I went with a new car with low profile tires, you'd be losing your lunch on this. Okay, hold on, there's a pothole right there. Okay, now I'm done with the pothole. Now let's see how stable this is. Picking up speed. I am right now doing 10 miles an hour, and that pothole is going to throw the whole experiment. But all right, now we're back to semi-stable ground. Now just watch the water. We're doing 15 now. Oh, another pothole. All right, well, New York City streets aren't making this test easy, but all right, we're gonna pick up speed again. And you can see the street is just terrible. I mean, the bottle is sliding around, but the water inside it is fairly stable. I'm doing now 15 miles an hour. It's not bad. Oh, I'm losing the bottle though. So now, I don't really know how else to express this to you. Hold on a minute, I'm trying to not end up in a vehicular problem. I don't know how better to express it, but this ride is rock solid. All right, now I'm on a level road, and you could see it's 15, it's 20 miles an hour. That bottle's not even moving. Not gonna hit the turn though. Whoop, lost the bottle. Anyway, this is a weird experiment, I know, but I can't express to you how amazing this car is any better way. Honestly, the ride quality on this thing is the best of any older car that isn't trying to do that modern thing like the Bose dampening that the old Lexus had and things like that. Anything using traditional suspension, this is about as good as it gets. It's phenomenal, this car.